Well, welcome, and thank you to the listening audience for joining us tonight to with Marriage Gone Divorce. We have an awesome show for you tonight. A discussion. We want you to participate, and by all means, make sure that you share. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you share. And if you would please be so kind to put in the chat where you are looking in from, and how you learned about us, but more than anything, where you're looking in from. Put in the chat, let us know. Just say hi to us. We would greatly appreciate it. And as we are, as those that are going to be coming in, I'm going to do what we do, because I know that everybody has been working today, moving, grooving, doing what you have to do. So we're going to center ourselves and bring ourselves into the moment and take a few deep breaths. Is that okay with you? Oh my goodness. Yes. So when we do that, so what we're going to do is kind of loosen ourselves up so we can get ready for this conversation. And we're going to take a deep inhale, hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale through the mouth. Let's take one more inhale, hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale. That feels good. I needed that. Yeah, it helps center us and get us in the moment and remind us whose and whom's we are. That means we ain't no junk. And that is a powerful place to be, to remember who you are. Let's take one more breath. Come on, inhale, hold, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale through the mouth. All right. We're going to go ahead and jump right in. We have our guest that's going to be with us tonight. She is a powerhouse. She has an extensive career in education. I met her while I was doing my master's program, and I worked for her in her department as assistant vice president of Alumni. I believe that was the title. She'll correct me, I'm sure, when she comes on. But she is a powerhouse. She has, I attribute me being able to complete my program because of her. She's a generous spirit, down to earth, but a powerhouse. And we're going to have a conversation, and we're going to ask you to join in with us. Okay. All right. At this time, let's welcome to the stage our very own Carmen. Hey, lady.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm wonderful. Glad to have you. Welcome, and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to share with the audience tonight.
Okay, it was always my pleasure. Always my pleasure.
Appreciate it. Now, did I say that right? Was it assistant vice? I did say that right.
Yeah.
It was something like that. It was one of the many things. Okay.
Yeah, alumni and community relations. Yeah, that's what
community relations. Yes. Yeah. And so I learned a lot. From her, and she always says she's learned a lot from me, but I think we learn from each other. And she's a genuine spirit. But her story, her experience, her history is what's powerful and is one of the things that makes her who she is. So what I want to give a room and space for right now is for us to share a little bit about yourself, and then talk about one of the questions that we start off with is, first of all, let me say this again, as always, our intention is to have real talk about our real experience and then leave you with real hope. So that simply means that we'll talk about real issues. I see you guys joining in. Please put in the chat where you're joining in from. Let me know that you're here. I greatly appreciate it. Put in the chat where you, let's see if you can see me. Hi there. Can y'all see me? Yeah, please let me know. So Carmen, go ahead, go right ahead. First, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know that you have 2 beautiful children. And tell us a little bit about your journey of marriage and why you got married.
Okay, well, first of all, it has been my honor and blessing to have you in my life as a colleague and friend forever now.
Family now.
Yeah, family. That's right. Because your son is totally my nephew, and he won't let anybody else say different. But I have been, as you mentioned, in education. Oh God, I don't know. I really forgot. It's over 20 some years. And I've done everything pretty much from being a professor to an academic dean to a campus president to up until recently, assistant vice president for alumni and community relations. I do a lot in the community. Um, I'm on several boards. On a board of OMG Wow, which is Women Outreaching Women. Also on the Valley Economic Alliance. On their actually, I'm their co-chair for their DEI committee, and just other stuff. I try to stay busy, if you will, but giving back is truly a blessing and an honor. I am most proud of my kids. I have
Yes.
I have my firstborn. His name is Jordan, and Jordan is a respiratory therapist and an RN, and he lives in Orlando, Florida. I'm the grandmother of two beautiful grandkids, a 18-year-old and a 13-year-old.
No, you don't look a day over 18 yourself. Cut it out.
And we're going to stick to that story, too.
That's right.
Yes. And I also have a daughter. She's 15 going on 20. And she's a little actress and so forth. So it's fun every day to be the parent of a teenager, and I get the tea every day.
That's right.
Yeah, the 15-year-old tea. Yes.
Uh-huh. All right, awesome. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, thank you for sharing that information. We appreciate that. I see that we do have some watching, so I'm gonna again ask if you could just please say hi. Say hi in the chat so we can get you say hi in the chat. Now, Carmen, what I learned, and you share as much or as little as you want, so we can, get into the meat of the conversation. What I learned is you've been married twice.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I got married. The first time I met my husband, we were classmates at what was then North Texas State University, and we just kind of we're in class, and we were in Air Force ROTC together, so that's kind of how we bonded. And then he was an Omega Psi Phi, and I was a Omega Gym, and so that was the other thing.
There it is.
Yeah, so we did that, and so we got married. Because when I started school, I was 16, so he and I got married when I was 19, because I was 19 going on 30. Let me tell it, right? And he was 21. So that was an experience. It was, and I want to preface it with everything that has happened in my life is for a reason and sometimes for a season. And I have nothing to be ashamed of, because the journey is what made me who I am. I've acquired great gifts throughout that journey. And one of them, of course, is my son, but also had the greatest in-laws who are still in my life. And because you can't, once you marry somebody, it does not, you don't just, get rid of those people. And it's not fair to when people make you feel like you have to, So I'm grateful for that. And then we were married for 11 years, and then we divorced, and then I remarried like a year or so later. And, I was on vacation, and I met this gorgeous dude in Barbados, and yeah.
And so the rest is black.
So, but like I said, everything was certainly a journey, and glad I did it. But God, the lessons. I know we're going to delve into. It's my family, and they're saying hello. The lessons. And like I said, I don't have a problem sharing it, because hopefully someone gets out of my journey something, but also that they come out of it like I did, not ashamed and not embarrassed. Because some people will say, "You've been married." I'm like, yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this. So what were the lessons that you learned? And that's awesome because that's one of the beautiful things about you is your outlook, right? And so what would you say as being married twice? What did you learn? I know we get married for love. Is that okay? So what are the lessons that you learned in being married?
First of all, when you're not ready to be married, don't do it. But then, as I said, remember, I said I was 19 going on 30, and I was looking for something that didn't exist.
Mm.
I was in a situation at home that I really wanted to not be in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt like I wanted to be married and to flee that environment.
Mm-hmm.
And man, my first husband, he came from a really stable, nice family, and they embraced me. His mother helped me grow up a lot, and I got a chance to see what it looked like to be a wife. And as great of a coach and inspiration as she is, I still had too much baggage with me, and
Mm-hmm.
we were just too
Mm-hmm.
young, just too
Mm-hmm.
young to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But we had to. We had our son, and but then at some point,
The decision for this, the decision for the divorce. What caused the
yeah,
decision for the divorce? Mm-hmm.
and because he's really a great guy, so I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
be very careful with that.
Yes.
Um, you know, something happened where we had a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things is that he wasn't honest with me about something that was really serious, and I think that
Mm-hmm.
was just the straw that broke the camel's back because.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't that he was trying to be malicious or anything. He just couldn't tell me.
Mm-hmm.
He had done something that he was ashamed of and he didn't want to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
But then that made me not be honest with other people because I didn't know what the situation
Mm-hmm.
was. Like,
So the trust.
yeah, and we
Yeah, it
were
was a trust.
yeah, it was the
Mm-hmm.
trust. I had to pay some people back that I had borrowed money, because of we
Mm-hmm.
were going to pay. But you know how that income tax. You know, how Judge Judy
Mm-hmm.
says all the
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So anyway, that had come and gone, and I didn't know it, and so that was the
Okay.
beginning of it. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
that it was really hard because we had a child, and
Mm-hmm.
it was hard to break up the family because I'd never really had a solid family like that, and I wanted so badly to give that to my
Mm-hmm.
son, but luckily, they still his dad and his dad's family, they're still in his life. So
Mm-hmm.
um, but I didn't want to do that. And I was thinking I wanted something and I couldn't put my finger on what I wanted. And then I thought, well, gosh, I want this love. I wanted all of this stuff. And I'm such a romantic. And
Mm.
so I,
So you got
so
married the second time.
yeah, and I met this guy and I
Mm-hmm.
met his mother first. And she'll probably watch this
Mm-hmm.
too, but I met her first. And she said, I
Mm-hmm.
want you to meet my son. And I was like, oh my God. And then so when we were in Barbados, and so this guy walks up, I'm like, oh my goodness, who is he? But I was just playing dominoes being me. And he walks up to me and he says, hi. And I was like, hi. And I'm still playing my hand because I'm serious about my bones. And
Mm-hmm.
and he said, and so she
Mm-hmm.
comes up, she says, Miss Carmen, this is my son I told you about. And then I look, I'm like, yeah, he's fine. So, but anyway,
Uh-huh.
we went out,
Mm-hmm.
and we went out on my birthday, and I guess I was 20, I guess 29. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, it's yeah. Well, I just did the math because you said you was 19 and
yeah,
he was married 11, and it was just so you was about 30, 31. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
29. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
I turned 30. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, and so then after that we dated for about a year, long
Mm-hmm.
distance, and
Mm-hmm.
then we got married. But let me tell you, one of the things that I gotta tell ladies, and I'm gonna be honest about this,
Mm-hmm.
your ego. Now, and
Mm-hmm.
you know me, Lorinda, I'm not a person that has a big ego. I'm confident, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
have a big ego.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a lot of people in my life, and I have always struggled with my weight. And
Mm.
So when this gorgeous guy was interested in me, I was like, oh yeah. And then a couple of my friends, when he came to visit me in Dallas, told me, how you get him? Like, a little snarky.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I'll show you, And so I noticed that Maria says, do I think I rushed into the second
That's what
marriage?
I was looking at. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was a waiting to exhale moment. Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I rushed into it because
Mm-hmm.
when someone said, how did you get him? And what, pretty much like, why does he like you? You don't deserve. And I was pretty much, so there's when I talk about the ego, and I'm thinking, how dare you? I'll show you. And so I did. But now who did I show? Me.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he came to visit me, and I know, it's a true story. When he came to visit me in Dallas, because I would go there a lot. I used to work for an airline. Shout out to Delta and all my crew. Some of them are on this. I would go there because I could, and then he came to visit me, and I knew then I should not do this. I knew it.
So Carmen, let me ask you this, because you're not the only woman that says this.
I knew it.
You know you shouldn't do it, but you do it anyway. And you talk about
ego. It was that ego girl.
The ego girl.
And I'm sick of people saying how you get him and why does he like you? And I'm thinking, well, why not? I'm a great person, But anyway, my ego. I knew we didn't get along. Our cultures were very different. We didn't like the same music. Watching TV, because that's one of the things I like. He didn't know any, because he was from another country, so he didn't know any of the show. I mean, it was just so much. And I thought, no. And then, girl, you and I, we you and I talk about different things and spirits and stuff like, but let me tell you, and y'all can laugh if you want because it's funny now, but at the time I didn't know what was going on. I knew that, by the end of his journey, I said, I'm breaking up with him. I did not think I should do that. And then something happened. And I don't know. And it's probably not, I don't know why it happened, but I started going into something crazy where I start crying before he left. And I'm like, I don't even really like him. And then when he left,
it was the ego. No,
I don't know, but it was something. And I started crying uncontrollably. Even after he was gone, I cried every day for weeks. And I don't even know why. I can't tell you. Somebody tell me, he probably put something in your food, girl. I'm like, but I didn't know. It was so bad. I had to call my ex-husband to come. I was like, can you come and help with the kid? Because I don't want him to see me crying. And I can't even tell you why I was crying, because I did not have a good time when I just didn't. But I went on, and then I told my friend Lisa, I said, Lisa, I was going to Barbados to break up with him. I get to Barbados, he asked me to marry. My crazy butt said, yes, we were supposed to go, because we met in Seoul, Korea. She said, well, you broke up with him, right? I'm like, no, he asked me to marry him. And I said, yes. Dumb. We did have a beautiful wedding in Barbados and stuff. But girl, we didn't stay married like physically for a year. I mean, we just did not get along and wasn't good. And he knows it's true. He was a cheater. So it was hard. So
let me ask you this. I got you. Let me ask you this, Carmen. So I get that it's the ego, right? And I get that, it caused, but then also, because this is good, it's the ego, but it's also our male or female, it's self-esteem, it's self-worth.
Yeah.
It's self-esteem and self-worth. Yeah. To get to that place.
Even though I might appear on the surface to, and now I know I'm a lot better than that, but
absolutely.
Before I would appear to be, because I'm always happy-go-lucky. You very rarely, and you know that very rarely do you see me not smiling. And so I'm a happy person, and I don't need anybody to make me happy. But I thought those experiences were going to bring me something else that they didn't. And after I got divorced, and that was now the first divorce, we were very amicable because we did care a lot about each other. We wanted to co-parent. I don't keep up a lot with him now. But if he called or needed anything, I would, because I have we don't have any bad feelings that I know of. But my second husband, I think we're cool now, but I haven't talked to him in years. But the point is, it was not amicable. It was nasty. It was vicious. I felt betrayed. He, tried to take my home that he flew on a plane to that I owned before I even met him. So it was rough. And I think the thing that hurt me the most was, because we were trying to break up. He told me he was going to leave when he got good and ready. And I'm thinking, we're living in a house that felt like cold air and chill, and just it was nothing about it was a home or warmth anymore. And then my kid is there in the midst of all of this, right? And so then finally one day I wasn't feeling good, and he came home, and he worked at the airport, which was like 40 minutes away from our house. I'm like, oh, I just came home for lunch. And I'm like, for lunch? That's a long drive for lunch. And then I was like, that something wasn't right. But finally I had to get up. We owned a restaurant at the time. And then that was even, so I had to go. They were calling. I had to go get some stuff. And I said, shake it off. You got to go. You own a business. You got to get up and go do it. So I left. And then maybe about 30, 40 minutes, maybe about an hour or so, my son called me, and he had gotten home from school. And he said, Mom, somebody broke in our house. And I said, what? I said, get out. You know me. I'm a mom. I'm
right.
And I'm like, no. And I said, Mom, I don't think it was somebody we didn't know. He said, because you know who, all of his stuff is gone. Girl. Then I was furious. Girl, this person took the curtains off the window. The furniture he said he hated, he took all. It was brand new. He took all of that. He took my computers. He took things that clearly did not belong to him. We fought and fought and fought. And I was miserable for two. Took us longer to divorce than we were actually married. Living together and stuff. Yeah.
Right.
So I knew at that point, and I gotta say something, and it makes me cry every time that I say it. But that person is on this call. But that day that he took everything out of my house, and when I came home, all I could do was just fall on the floor, and I was just crying. And then I thought, you betrayed me. You did this and made my child come home from school and find and think that someone broke in our home. And I was just crying. And I was getting my degree. And I had to go to class that night. And I was just broken. And my wonderful, and I have several brothers. Some I just learned about in recent years, but my brother that grew up with me like this, we tell each other we're twins, but we really are not. We're less than 2 years apart, but that's why we say that. I called him and I'm crying, and he says, Carmen, I'm coming over. He came over. My brother took me to school.
Oh, wow.
Sat in the back of my class. While I did what I did. I didn't cry in class. I'm going to cry now, but I'm going to stop. And then when I got back in the car, he drove me home. I cried. And I cried several days. And he stayed at my house, so I stopped crying. And took me to class, took me to work, never complained. And so without him,
you had a pretty good support system. That's a blessing. That is amazing. Yeah, it is.
He knows, and he's on here, and I love you for that, because without that support, I would have maybe dropped out of school and all of that. So roll it down the hill. I got a phone call from Mr. Divorce. We had finally got divorced, but somehow he thought it was okay to call me. And so he called me one day, and he says, "What are you doing?" And I looked around. I said, "Oh, I'm at my graduation. I'm ready to march in just a minute." And he said, "Wow, you did it." I said, "Yeah." And he said this out loud, and I don't think he meant to say it out loud, but this is what he said. I'll never forget this. He said, I can't believe you did it. He said, because I did everything I could to make you fail.
Yeah, he meant to say that out loud. Yeah, you can always give the benefit of the doubt. Bless your heart. No, that was intentional.
Yes, yes. So,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So, and I said, well, you didn't. And so I got to go because I'm getting ready to graduate. So I went on, not only did I finish my bachelor's that day, then I went on and got my MBA. And, my life has been, you know, just upwardly mobile since then. But I got to tell you, I did learn that, because I'm such a, I know my heart is good.
Mm-hmm.
But that day when I came home and all of that, that's when I know I could hurt a brother.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if I had a gun, I might have shot it. I don't know. I never felt that way, nor have I felt it again. But the one thing, and I have to give my mom credit. I was so angry, and I had talked to her on the phone. I'm like, "He took all my furniture." She goes, "Carmen, you'll get that." She said, "You'll have new furniture over and over and over again." She said, "He'll probably have that same furniture probably for the rest of his life." Okay. And I thought about it, and then it was a car issues with. And one day, my aunt, he moved to Atlanta, so one day my aunt got sick, and I needed to go check on her in Atlanta. I love her to death, and she's like, oh. So he says, again, he pops up calling, and by then I had gotten him a job at the airport too. Did I mention that he's still working? But so. He said, "I'll pick you up at the airport." And I'm thinking, I don't know, because I'm thinking, should I do this or not? And I said, "Oh, okay, So I let him pick me up, and I started smiling because he had that, my mom told me he got the same stuff that he took, And I thought when he picked me up, his car was kind of junky. And if he watches this, your car was junky. And and I get in the car and I'm like, my. And then I thought, I was smiling, and I said, because I left for those beautiful BMW parked at BMW. Because again, my mama told me, I will have other blessings, don't worry about it. So I say that, and I don't mind telling those bad stories because I came out of it. I never thought that I would do what I did. I never thought I would be dean of a college and then campus president of a college and do things that not many people have had the blessing and privilege to do. When got my MBA, I was on fire. I got that in a year and a half, and because I was determined to succeed, and that no one can hold me back or hold me down. And so they didn't. And so I'm glad, but you see, those are lessons, and it gave me determination. But what I haven't done since then, and I'm trying not to, because sometimes it gets hard. I'm still human, but I try to keep that self-esteem in check. And I have not been. That's been 20 some odd years. 20 some odd years. I have not been married again.
Right.
Yeah, now do I want to get married again? I do, to the right person. One of my dear friends, she used to work with me at one of the colleges, and she's so sweet. Her name is Marlon, and Marlon goes, "Carmen, sweetheart, don't worry." She said, "Your picker's just broke. You just gotta fix your picker."
I love it.
Fix that picker.
I love it. Fix the picker. Yeah. So listen, let me ask you this, Carmen. Let me ask you, that's a dynamic story. What would you share with the listening audience that may be listening to your story, and they may be in a space of, well, but I don't see any way out. They're down.
You just got to take, do one thing at a time, one foot in front of the other. If you know it's wrong, because I knew it was wrong before I started. So first of all, hindsight, but you can't live on hindsight. But I should have done. Number one, I don't want to say I shouldn't, because that was a lesson I needed to learn. I needed to grow up, and we both ended up growing up together. And now we have, we're okay. That number two was clearly not the right thing to do, but I still learned lessons. When it doesn't feel right, don't stay, because I didn't stay after that. It was a little less than a year. And I was ready to go, and I wasn't going to stay any length of time. So I tell other women, don't prolong it. And no, you know what? I was embarrassed because that would have been my second divorce within 2 years,
Mhm.
ideally, and
Mhm.
and I thought, oh God, how embarrassed. And then those same
Mhm.
naysayers and how they're going to be laughing. I shouldn't care about anybody. Don't care about
Mhm.
anybody. If someone is not good for you, and when someone tells you that they were trying to do everything they could to make you fail, that is not your cue to get out of it
Mhm.
and never
Mhm.
return. And I never have
Mhm.
returned. I don't open that door. That door, when it's
Mhm.
shut, it's closed. Boom,
Mhm.
boom, lock.
Mhm. And that's that.
And that
Okay.
yeah,
What would you tell your younger self tonight? Well, if it was one thing you would tell your younger self, what would that be?
give myself some time. Um, I would not have rushed, and I would not have put my future in the hands of something, because I put a lot of pressure probably on my first husband to be someone he wasn't at the time either. He was just 21. I had to show him how to write a check as if I had written that many. Okay. Because I hadn't.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
Yeah, so we both weren't ready. But he tried, I tried, but it just didn't work out.
Mhm. Mhm.
I yeah, love. I
Love
love
should
it.
not
That
be a
church said
battle.
love.
Yeah, that's a good one. Love should not be a battle.
Yeah.
And then they say friends first. That's good.
Hmm.
And then this one is yes, the embarrassment that sometimes keeps us in bad place.
And yeah,
It's
that's why I
absolutely
think
true.
that
Yes, when we
embarrassment was,
feel.
but
Mhm.
I didn't want to do it, but then I knew I had to because it wasn't getting any better. It was getting toxic. And like I said, when you come home or you dread coming home and the it's ice cold and it's not really, but it feels that
Mhm.
way.
Mhm.
Um, yeah,
And so,
and
what I've heard you say too, Carmen, what I've heard you say too is a support system, finding yourself and creating yourself a support system to help you get through those difficult times. And the other thing that I heard you say is grieving, the grieving process. So, even when you know it has to be, there is a grieving process that you go through with the divorce,
yeah,
bad,
it's like
good, or
a death.
indifferent. Yeah,
It's
it
like a
is.
death. Yes.
Yes, it is. It
My
is.
first the first marriage, that when we got a divorce, we went
Mm-hmm.
together and to the did
Mm-hmm.
the final stuff, and we both cried, and
Mm-hmm.
that was a death, but we still went together. It wasn't any animosity like that. The other
Mm-hmm.
one, I wouldn't have gone anywhere with him. That one, I hate to classify it as a death, because a death is something that you grieve and that you had something. I just didn't even feel that way. I felt like
Got it.
I gotta even think of, I can't even put a word to it, but it was just, I knew it was like a getaway plan. I was like, come on, get out. I didn't grieve it like that. I grieved stupidity for me because I knew better. I
Would you
knew,
call that a would you call that a regret
yes,
or
a big
no?
time. And I try not to regret much, but then I
Mm-hmm.
learned that I regret doing it. So now I'm trying not to do things like
Mm-hmm.
that and, you know, try to head off regrets before I have a
Mm-hmm.
regret like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, we all do stupid stuff, and little regrets, but that's a big regret and it affects many
Mm-hmm.
lives.
Mm-hmm. So have you forgiven yourself?
Yes, yes. It took a long
Mm-hmm.
time. I'm not going to lie. Um, it took a long time. Um, I had to find me, and when I left Texas and moved to California, I started working on even before that, you know, I I had to just really figure out who I was. And like even before I met Marlon, when she told me my picker was broken, I knew something was that I needed to find out who I was. So when I had
Mm-hmm.
an opportunity, when I took a job here in California, and I moved here by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was big. That was huge. I had to learn.
Huge.
I had to
Yes.
grow up and be
Yes.
by myself. And keep in mind, when I moved here, my son, he had already graduated high school. He was gone off to Navy. I
Mm-hmm.
had to grow up after he left, because I had to help him grow up and do other things and go to school and do all of these things. So once my nest was empty, I had to work on me being
Mm-hmm.
learned how to navigate a city by myself. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
to navigate different relationships in and out. And when I see them, I'm like, ooh, gotta go. That one's not it. Keep it moving. Even when I was dating someone and was blessed to have my daughter, but I knew that person was not going to be a person that needed to be in my life. You know what I mean? Not like that. And so even though my disappointment was that I didn't think I could have a child at 44, but I did.
But
club too.
Yes.
But I didn't think I could. But then I said, you know what? I'm not going to make a mistake and get with someone for the wrong reason. God blessed me enough to make the salary in which I, could take care of her. And I do have wonderful people that help me. Not only my brother, who's on my sister-in-law, but my one person who's on here. Do you see this wonderful guy? His name is Al Pippins. Al was one of my students back in the day, and he was just such a great student. When he graduated, he would always come to where I was, and I hired him. Anyway, he became my buddy. He says I'm his wife, and that Al is. He calls me Carmenita Divine. He gave me Al Pippins Divine, and we're the Divine family. But he's Lawrence.
I love it.
He's one of my villagers, and he's Lauren's godfather. And I have lots of friends. My friend Peaches and her husband, they help me out a lot. And then Sharon, she's here now. She visited me. He's visiting me from Dallas, and she's Lauren's godmother. And I've got a great village, and so they keep me grounded. They keep me laughing. They keep me happy. We all travel together. Yes, yeah. You see, Al said I nearly fainted when you told me.
Fainted when you told me. Yes.
Yes, but I did have an Al, and he was like, "Well, I'll be there for her," and so I just did what I did, and it was good. So, but I didn't get, and that person is not in my life because God blessed me to have these other people to help me take care of her. So I'm trying not to make those mistakes again. And when God blesses me with that person I'm supposed to have and share the rest of my life with, that person is going to love me for me. I'm going to love them. One of the things too that I learned, and it just came in to my brain again, because I was talking to myself about this the other day. I don't want to change anybody.
Yes, there it is.
I don't want to change anybody. And I know as a woman, we look at you, he's this, but if I have to change someone, then that's not for me. If I need to think that I need to change them, I gotta even if it's something that I can do without, but it's not a deal breaker, because we got some deal breaker things. I won't take anybody that's a deal breaker for me. No. And I have a daughter, so any man that's in my life has to be trustworthy, because I already know that I can kill you if you do something. So, look, and don't let sweet Al T. Pippins Divine fool you, because he'll try to go on you. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Or as I noticed, your son, my nephew.
Really? He's not going to play. Don't play. He does not play at all.
Right. So I have to make sure I have someone that's good in my life and someone that will respect me. I want to travel. I can't handle nobody don't want to do that. That's not the person for me. Again, I'm not going to try to fix you. One guy told me, I don't fly. I don't like to fly. He's not. No. So, we just friends. I'm like, never. You don't fly. We can't do that. Just things that I like being happy. I like watching TV. So one guy told me, I don't like watching TV, and I don't like people to watch TV. I said, then you won't like me.
Okay. That's, you don't go beyond whatever your standards, what your deal breakers, what your standards, what you've established, what they are. And you're not trying to make somebody now like what you like, and they've already told you they don't like it. Yeah.
Right. And you know what? Carmen goes up and down with her weight. She just does. I'm gonna be cute either way it goes. But I can go up and I can go down. So I need you to like Carmen. She got some battle scars. She's got a lot of stuff. But you gotta like that. And if that bothers you, you need to press on, because that's not gonna change. Carmen talks a lot. That's Carmen. If you don't like women that talk a lot, or if I get on your nerves, you might want to keep going, because guess what? just because I met you does not mean I'm going to stop talking.
That's right. That's right.
Right? I'm a laugh.
Mm-hmm.
I get along with anybody pretty much. If I don't get along with you, it's probably something wrong with you. Because
that part, because you get because you get along, Well, I have to agree with you with that. You get along and you know how to work with people and pull out the truth be told, you know how to pull out the best in folks.
I try.
You do. You have that. You know how to do that. Yeah. So
those are I think the thing, but I think that was the biggest lesson that I had to teach myself, is stop trying to change someone. And if you feel so strongly that they need to be changed, then it's your problem, not theirs, because they came that way. You come your way. So don't try to change anybody.
Love
and
it.
embrace the things you love. And if it's something that's not that big a deal, then don't say nothing. Just keep it moving, because that's still them. And sometimes try to find the better part of that thing that might get on your nerves. If it's not a deal breaker, and sometimes you just go, you know what? Stop being critical, because that person really is funny if you just give them a chance to stop criticizing them. Even if you don't like the way they dress or something, you don't want to change anybody. If you start saying, if you would do this and do that, you might be insulting them. So now if they tell you, I know I can do better, would you help me? That's different, because you're not trying to change
different.
them.
Yes, they ask for it. Yes.
Yeah. Someone like, I would maybe want someone that wouldn't criticize me, but if I would want someone to walk with me. You know what I mean? Instead of saying, you need to go to the gym. No, I can go to the gym. I can buy me a membership. It's okay. You didn't have to tell me that. I know that. But if someone wants me to go with them or something, I would do it. So it's just a lot that you get in life that you're learning, but I don't want to fix them, and I don't want them trying to fix me. Let's try to see what we like, how we enjoy each other. Let's travel. I want to have more good days than bad. I want to smile. I want to love. And I want to be in love, but I want them to be in love with me too.
Yes.
I want to say, hey, Lorinda, girl, I got to get home, girl.
Yes.
But I like that. And then, so that's kind of the way I see it. But I want other women to know you don't have to be unhappy. But I think, what is it? Lettucey has that song, what can you add to me?
Yes.
And the other thing,
one of my favorite songs. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, that's the way I look at it now. What can you add? Please don't subtract, because I'm cool the way I am. And yes, you should compliment each other.
Compliment each other. Yes.
But I want someone to, because they can't make me happy, and I can't make them happy. So if they're not already happy, and we just trying to live our best life. My brother, he told me that song years ago, living my best life. I love that song, even though it has curse words. But I love that, because I want to live my best life, and I want someone to help me live my best life. But you can't make me happy. I come happy, and I want to stay happy. And I don't want to be in a relationship where I come in there happy, thinking you're gonna add, and I already see the subtraction. On the calculator, you subtract it. No. So that's what I'm looking for. So, hopefully that person sees that in me, that I can add to them, and that we're going to make life so great. And, that it'll be worth the effort, because, marriage is not easy, but I want someone that wants to go through those good days with me all the time. But when we have a bad day, we got each other's back. Now, we're not going to be adversaries, because sometimes it's other people. You shouldn't want to find trouble within the household, because if you just breathe, outside to come in. So you don't need to try to find any trouble outside to bring it to you. So just, try to have your happy home and stuff like that. But right now, it's just me and my tribe, my friends and my family, and my daughter and my son when I get to see him, and when I get to see my grandkids. And I got 2 cats too.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's another thing. You gotta I have cats. So if you say, I don't like cats, You're not the man
It's
for
gonna be
me.
a problem. Yeah, it's gonna be a problem because your cats are not going nowhere. No.
My cat Tiana will look at you like, dude. Okay, so funny last story. I got to tell you. Speaking of cats,
Mhm.
I had a cat. My friend talked me into getting these cats when I was married, my first marriage. So the cat was so big, he was big as my son. And he was a Maine Coon named Regis. Regis was the most wonderful cat in the world.
Mhm.
Remember I told you my second ex-husband came to visit me in Dallas. Soon as he came in the door, when we got there from the airport, Regis said, okay. He started hissing and growling. He had never done it to not one person ever. So I'm like, what's the matter? That baby was trying to tell me that day, but I didn't listen to poor Regis. Regis' hair started coming out. He was
Oh Lord.
pooping all over the house. I'm like, no.
Oh Lord.
Y'all, one day we went out and the guy's stuff was in my guest room, his suitcase. So Regis, when we left, he goes in that room. He must have been thinking about this all day. He goes in there, he poops in every corner, peed in this man's there was so many piles. And I was like, and it was like, oh my God, Regis trying to tell me right then and there, Mommy, do you get it? What did I tell you? I still didn't listen to the cat. So that was one big lesson. If your animals don't like it and they're giving you
You better pay attention.
girl, look, oh God, that was so funny. So anyway, I had to give Regis to my ex-husband because I didn't want anything to happen to Regis. But I was like, oh my God. And I thought, I should have listened to my cat. My cat tried to tell me.
The cat tried. They'll tell you. The animals will let you know. Yes, no, yes, yeah.
He's like,
that is hilarious.
it is. So, but no, hopefully I know this is funny, but hopefully everybody can see. At the time, I couldn't have laughed. I did a lot of crying, but at the end of it, I came through the storm. I've had a lot, life is not perfect, but at the end of the day, I don't regret making those decisions from marriage to go to divorce because it was what it's supposed to be. And my life is the way it is supposed to be. I like who I am. I like my life. And again, if I find someone that can add to me and make the life even better, hey, I'm open to it. But if not, guess what? I'm still happy. I'm still living my best life and traveling and doing what I like to do. So I'm not losing. But don't stay in something just because you're embarrassed or you feel like you made a mistake. So what if you made a mistake? You're gonna make some more.
No shame, no shame, no game, no guilt, no embarrassment, because I think that's the beauty of what you've shared with us tonight, Carmen, and I want to say thank you for your transparency. Is that number one, no matter what it is, you can get through it. Number two is having a village, not staying stuck. Not staying stuck. Someone says, listen to the animals.
That's right, Rob. Listen to the animals. That's right.
Okay. Not staying stuck, and not staying in situations when they're toxic and unhealthy, and then and having a support building. If you don't have family, have friends, family, whatever, to build that support system. That village is what helps you get through. That's awesome. You gave so many gems tonight. I didn't even have to ask because I had I have my questions that I go through, but your story, you told it all.
I did.
You hit all the points, even including leaving the audience with things to think about before you get married, after you get married, red flags, establishing your standards, not compromising, having your, all of that. You covered it all, and it is so important.
And not trying to change somebody.
And not trying to change someone is so vitally important. And not changing yourself
for that person either.
because that doesn't work either. It doesn't work
Addition
either.
only, no subtraction.
That's it. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. So thank you. Is there anything in the audience or anything else that the audience want to ask, say, comment? I think this has been a powerful, solid hour. I appreciate you. I thank you. This will be live as soon as we end the show tonight. And so be sure you share, come back and visit with us again. We have additional broadcasts you can look at that we're coming up. But thank you, Carmen. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you for your transparency. Thank you for that. We need to hear that this is what this is all about, being able to share so people that are walking through that process don't feel alone, don't feel that they're by themselves and that they can't get through it. So thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, audience. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. So again, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We appreciate the fact that you came in and joined. Make sure that you subscribe and like, share, subscribe, like, and share, and come back and join us. Yes, Lori, thank you so much. She says, thank you for sharing your story, Carmen. And we appreciate the show tonight. And we will see you next week at the same time. We got another dynamic guest that will be with us next week. Thank you again. We'll see you next week. Blessings.